Gaming laptops have come a long way, and this is the Lenovo Legion Slim 7i, and Lenovo and Intel sponsored this video for me to show you exactly what this machine is capable of. Whether you're trying to game, you're trying to do productivity, you're trying to do it powered on the wall or off the wall, or you're trying to have this set up at your desk. The Lenovo Legion Slim 7i is an Intel Core laptop, which means it can do all of those things and do them remarkably well. Because under the hood, we have the 13th gen Intel Core i7-13700H. 14 cores, 20 threads, 6 of those being P cores, 8 of those being E cores, with a 5 GHz max turbo boost clock. And all of those cores share the 24 megabytes of Intel Smart Cache, which allows them to dynamically utilize it however they need. But also you have a 99.99 watt-hour battery, the max capacity possible in a laptop before you're subject to federal regulations here in the United States. You've got a 2x2 watt Harman speaker setup with Nahimic audio, a 1080p webcam with an E-shutter as well as Tobii Horizon support. And my model came with the RTX 4060 as well as 16 gigabytes of DDR5 5200 mega transfers RAM. But the thing I really want to talk the most about with regards to this Lenovo Legion Slim 7i is the screen, because this thing, not only is it packed in one of the smallest chassis I've ever seen for a 16-inch laptop, but it packs specs that are hard to find anywhere else. So it's a 16-inch 2560 by 1600 IPS panel, which means it's 16 by 10, which is great for productivity because you get an extra set of vertical pixels compared to the horizontal pixels, which makes it great for fitting more things on your display. Very rarely do you get an HDR display in a laptop of this price class as well as with this set of specs, which that HDR brightness is good for both gaming because you're getting crisp highlights as well as great contrast in your games thanks to the difference in brightness, but that's also great for productivity work if you're either working with photos or you're working with video because you can see your footage or your images as you wanted to see them. But not only is it good for those things with brightness with the 100% sRGB color space, but it also has a 240 Hz variable refresh rate screen capable of up to 3 milliseconds response time with overdrive turned on, meaning that this thing not only gets you everything you need on the productivity side, but then it also extends onto the gaming side where that GPU that's in this system can actually run at a high refresh rate, so you're getting to see everything in its best visual glory. And they've packed this into a package that's less than an inch thick. At its thinnest point, it's 0.69 inches, and at its thickest point, it's 0.78 inches, and it starts at just under 2 kilos or under 4.4 pounds. This thing is light, but packed to the brim with hardware. And now normally, this is where I would think that there would be sacrifices made on the cooling system, but if you look under the hood, cooling down that Intel Core i7-13700H is a massive set of heat pipes and beautiful fans that are all slotted underneath to make sure that this system stays cool while gaming, or while you're doing all of the work that you need to do. And then you also have a great amount of ports that allow you to have all of the connectivity that you want. Starting off with the wireless options, you've got Wi-Fi 6E 802.11.ax, which allows you to maximize your internet speeds, as well as having Bluetooth 5.1. But then on physical connections, on the left side, you have a USB 3.2 Gen 2 port with DisplayPort 1.4 and 140 watts of power delivery. And then right next to that is an Intel Thunderbolt 4 port, which is capable of USB 3.2 Gen 1, DisplayPort 1.4, and also 140 watts of power delivery. Having that Intel Thunderbolt 4 port means that you can also access the whole range of accessories that are supported with Intel's Thunderbolt technology. That means you can have external docks that connect to multiple different displays. You have 40 gigabits per second of data transfer that you can utilize here. You can have an external GPU in case you wanted to utilize that, or connect up to a 240 Hz monitor and just game to your heart's delight. And the best part is you just unplug one simple cable and then you're ready to walk away with your gaming laptop. And then next to that, you have an audio combo jack. On the right side, you have the 4-in-1 SD card reader, as well as the E-shutter button, which helps to disable the webcam that's on here for privacy reasons. And then on the back, you have quite a bit. You've got the USB-A 3.2 Gen 2, which this one with the battery symbol means that it's always on 5 volts 2 amps to mean that you can use that for charging up to 10 watts of power coming out of that so that you know which port to go for. Also, can we just talk about how beautiful this illuminated section to let you know what all of the ports are without having to like slide under the laptop to see how, because it's low profile, like Having that at the back is very helpful. Then you've got two more USB-A 3.2 Gen 2 ports capable of 10 gigabits per second, and HDMI 2.1, and then the power input, which goes to a 230 watt power brick provided by Lenovo, which with the laptop, its 99.99 watt-hour battery supports super rapid charge, which means that in a 10-minute charge, you can get from 0% battery all the way up to 30%. In 30 minutes, you can get that up to 70%, and in a total of 80 minutes, you can be at 100% capacity. So you can stay connected with everything that you want. You can look at a screen that looks absolutely beautiful. You're keeping everything cool. You have the largest battery capacity that you could possibly have. So let's talk about how it performs. So I tested the Lenovo Legion Slim 7i in several different applications, both in gaming as well as in productivity, and then also synthetic benchmarks to just get a feel for how this thing performs. And thanks to the fact that it has Intel's 13th gen chip, it's an Intel Core laptop. That means you have access to Intel's Thread Director, which is supported natively in Windows and makes sure that your system is dynamically allocating the resources to either the P cores or the E cores as the laptop needs them. You don't need to worry about background tasks like your music or anything you have going on in your web browser slowing you down, because Intel's Thread Director is making those choices for you. You don't have to park cores, you don't have to configure anything, it's ready to go right out of the box. And as I mentioned before, it has 24 megabytes of Intel Smart Cache, which allows the last level cache to be shared amongst all of the different cores in the system to allow for faster gaming performance. So let's talk about the gaming numbers. I tested everything at 1080p high settings because that's what I think the RTX 4060 in here is definitely capable of. We have some more CPU heavy titles, which I'll talk about as we're going through it, but in a game like Returnal, we managed to average 92.1 FPS as this system was spec'd to me. Hitman 3, we managed to get 174.1 FPS. In Baldur's Gate 3, see, now we're getting into where CPU resources are hitting hard and heavy, especially as you're getting into higher FPS and you're getting into games that actually require more CPU resources. This one ran at 196.9 FPS. In Counter-Strike 2, we were looking at 203.2, and in Assassin's Creed Mirage, we looked at 108.6 FPS. But at this point, I know that this laptop only shipped with 16 gigabytes of RAM, and it happened to be single-channel DDR5 5200. And one of the benefits of working with the Lenovo Legion Slim 7i is the fact that you can upgrade what's on the inside. Not only does it have two M.2 ports for you to upgrade your storage, should you find that the base amount of 512 gigs or the upgraded amount of 1 terabyte is not enough for you, but it also has an extra DDR5 slot for you to be able to upgrade your RAM on your own. The 16 gigabytes that comes included is soldered, but you can easily buy a 16 gigabyte kit after the fact if all you can afford right now is the 16 gigabyte version. So I did that just to see what the performance difference would be, thanks to the fact that we're now entering into dual channel RAM, and we also have 32 gigs at our disposal. And I found that it gave us a performance uplift in all of the games. The smallest increase was Assassin's Creed Mirage, where we saw a 1.8% increase, and the biggest was in Counter-Strike 2, where we saw a 9.8% increase. Baldur's Gate 3 saw a 4.3% increase, Hitman 3 saw a 5.2% increase, and Returnal saw a 4% increase. And I mentioned before, this thing has a beefy heatsink setup, and I can show you the numbers on the screen as I'm running the games. This laptop is staying relatively cool. And thanks to the fact that Lenovo includes a quick hotkey for you to be able to switch your power profiles, you can see it right here on the laptop, getting this thing into performance mode to make it rip is very simple. But if you want to leave it in auto, I found that that gives you about 90 to 95% of the performance. It reduces everything just enough so that the fan speed's a little lower, the temperatures are a little cooler, and you're getting the best of both worlds with the power profile that Lenovo has set on this Legion Slim 7i. But then in synthetic benchmarks, checking out something like Cinebench R23, we managed to hit 15,133 on the multi-core score and 1840 on the single core score. But then after the RAM upgrade, we managed to hit 16,652 on the multi-core score, a significant increase of nearly 10% thanks to just adding a little bit of extra RAM, which again, the Lenovo Legion Slim 7i makes so easy. It's just regular Phillips screws on the underneath, you pop open the chassis, and then you can install your own RAM, which is a benefit that you don't get in every laptop. So it's amazing that the Lenovo Legion Slim 7i allows you to do that. And then with the extra RAM, the single core score stayed exactly the same. But in my Premiere Pro render test, which is an 11-minute 4K file, we managed to render that out in 5 minutes and 11 seconds, faster than real time by double. And then when I upgraded upgraded RAM. We cut off 15 seconds from that total, coming in at 4 minutes and 56 seconds, which is just mind-boggling in a laptop that is incredibly thin. It has the screen that it does to make gaming and productivity look great. You have the hardware to make everything perform well. You have the software thanks to things like Intel's Thread Director to make sure everything's running seamlessly. This laptop really does it all. If I wanted to edit on the go while I'm in a hotel room, I know that I could get this done on the Lenovo Legion Slim 7i, thanks to the fact that it is an Intel Core laptop, giving me access to everything that I need. And when I get back home, I can hook it up to my Thunderbolt dock, make sure all of my accessories, my screens are all ready to go with a single cable thanks to Intel's Thunderbolt 4 technology. So if you want to check out the Lenovo Legion Slim 7i, we will have a link in the video description. Again, big thanks to Lenovo and Intel for sponsoring today's video and allowing me to take a look at the Legion Slim 7i, and we'll see you in the next video, my friends.